Hello, welcome. I'm Brendan Lee. In this video, I want to talk to you about bullying. This came up because I was talking to somebody about bullying, and then I heard in the process of the conversation that people get bullied, and then younger people that I'm hearing about are getting cyberbullied, and then they're committing suicide. Plus, this is anti-bullying month, and I hear tell, so I figured, I'll just make a little video. Maybe I've got something to contribute. Now, bullying, my first reaction to hearing about kids that off themselves because they're unhappy because they're bullied online, I'm like, it's kind of bullshit. Young kids that are so distraught because of the internet that they decide to off themselves. I think this is not a wise course of action. So I thought, well, I might as well make something, at least maybe I can reach some younger people on a level, maybe, where they could hear something that might make a difference. All right, so that's what this video is for. Okay, it's a public service. Now, so I've got several messages. I'm sure that I will come up with more stuff to say. This message is for the young people. All right. Now, I'm borderline getting old, probably in the eyes of a young person now. I'm freaking old, right? You can see in my beard there's gray, my hair's gone. I don't think of myself as too old. I'm pushing 40, right? To a young person, you are old as dirt, old man. What the do I care what you think? Well, you're not that far away from where I'm at. Here's what I would want to share for the young people. When I grew up, okay, so message to young people. When I grew up, I did not own a cell phone until I was 22. I went through my entire high school with no phone, and I didn't give a flying f***. I didn't give a shit. All right? I have a phone now, and I sort of remember the good old days. And we used to do stuff like get out and go play. Go talk to other people, do things with friends, take a bike ride down to the park and do things like that. You see, and I think now the culture's changed and things have changed and people are way into these digital devices. So you're getting cyberbullied. First thing to do, get off your phone. Stop your social media. I, on purpose, do not engage in certain social media activities. You're like, but then, okay, right, but then what are young people saying? They're going to say, yeah, but I can't get off my phone. Yeah, you can. Okay, this is the old school, perhaps harsh way of saying it, but the reality is, if we destroyed your phone, you would have to live without one, and I doubt you would die. You might be upset for a while. You're like, yeah, but I can't talk to my friends. Everybody's on the phone. This is what I was hearing, right? One of the complaints. I don't care if everybody's on the phone. Get off it. Right? Okay, cool. So that's solution number one right away. You can just cancel all your social media. You don't need that. It's mostly bullshit anyway, and it's created by people who have, if you want to know about social media, there's a documentary on Netflix, I think, The Social Dilemma, I think it's called. And if you listen in there, you can listen to people who helped create social media. They don't let their kids do that stuff. The people who made social media do not let their kids do that stuff. That should tell you something right there. It is a team of highly intelligent engineers that have engineered social media to be addicting to get you to stay on it because they make a ton of money from you looking at stuff on your phone all the time. You get targeted ads. They're making a killing off of you. All right, you buying things. Maybe not the younger people who don't have credit cards yet, but, get on up there. So it is designed to be addicting. You don't need to fall for that crap. Turn off your phone, go outside, go do something real for a change. The phone. Okay, but you can't get off your phone. All right, so you're being bullied. You can't get off your phone. What are your options? Well, option one, change the system, right? Now, how's a young kid who's listening to this, if you are, going to go out and change the system? That means there needs to be rules in place or some way of, holding bullies accountable to what their actions. And there are some things there, I think, and probably stuff against harassment and other things where if you're getting bullied, go out and say something. Now, that might run counter to what you have as possible, because I talked to a friend of mine and she's got kids, and then they launched a ball over a fence, right? And then they didn't know how to knock on the door to ask the person verbally, hey, we lost the ball, can we get it? They're like, what's her phone number so we can text them? This is bonkers to me. I'm like, dude, there's real people out here. Get off your phone, go talk to them. You might find out something interesting. You don't know. See, but stop being, it's like we're losing touch with humanity, right? So, but say there's laws in place and you're getting bullied. Bullies love cowards. Bullies pick on cowards. A coward would not say anything. If you're a coward, stop being a coward. Have some courage. It's okay. Courage is something you generate. It's not something that just exists out there. Courage is something you do in the face of fear. That's what courage is. All right? Say something. Step one. Now, maybe you've said a bunch of things. Nobody's listening to you. And maybe even worse, you say stuff to your parents and they don't listen to you. Oof. What a situation to be in. I cannot imagine. I mean, I can imagine, but I didn't live that. It must be terrible. So if you cannot change your environment, okay, if you cannot change your environment, so step one, say something, don't be a coward, change your environment if you can, like say something to somebody who can do something about it, call somebody, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but they'll bully me more. Screw them. If you can nail the bully, they'll likely stop. Okay, so I'm talking specifically like cyber, right? And quick aside, if you're getting bullied by somebody online, the reason that people bully online easier is, as far as I can tell, they can remain anonymous. People are very brave online when they're anonymous. Have you noticed that? I mean, I get people every so often on YouTube, they'll write me harsh things, but they're anonymous. So they feel like empowered to write whatever they want. But what they don't realize is that in the adult world, see, I just made a distinction there. If you're in like a kid world, things are very important. But imagine at some point you're going to have to grow up, given you get that far. And in the adult world, when somebody is like that to you online, all they're doing is revealing how scared and weak and pathetic they are to the world. And there's more to the world than just your small group of friends. There's like a wider society. We call it like, the general public or society. There's more than just your group of friends out there. And in the adult world, that stuff is just pathetic and stupid. So you can rest assured, anybody who's bullying you, their intent is to hurt your feelings. Make no mistake about that. But they're revealing their true colors, and they're revealing themselves basically to be a big steaming pile of crap. All right? They are a turd, they're a coward, and they're weak. And they're trying to likely compensate for their own mental screwed upness. All right? So you can use that. So now, given you cannot change your environment, bullying happens. All right, we're not going to change that. I bet bullying, as long as kids will be kids and even adults and humans will be humans, there will be bullying, because that's just the way it goes. You cannot change that fact, but you can change how you relate to that fact. You do not need to keep your same perspective. It may be difficult, but your perspective, how you view what's happening to you. You cannot change what happens because that's physical, but you can change how you relate to what happens. That's on you. Now, if you hold reality as they are causing you to feel the way that you feel, and it really seems that way, which it does because of the way our minds work, we're very good at reacting to suddenly what occurs, no matter what it is. So you will automatically, if somebody does something, you will feel hurt very quickly. But if you can switch your perspective and stop making it their fault that you're hurt, you can change how you relate to the circumstances. Whether you get hurt or not is on you. Now, I know that's probably a tall order, okay? You see what I'm trying to get across here? I don't know how this is going to come across to younger people. Probably you won't be able to hear me. But maybe some of you out there, if you need this video, it would make a difference. You can change how you see the world so that then, instead of seeing something that you need to be hurt about, you see a weak, sniveling coward trying to hurt your feelings because their mind is screwed up somehow. And then you can let it go. Right? Or, you see, but then, okay, so you got that? You can change your perspective. That's the message there. So then what do you do at school? Like, okay, then let's see, I'm a kid, I'm in school, and people are going tee-hee-hee-hee-hee about me because of some joke or some meme that was posted about me that, you know, really paints me in a bad light, and people are going tee-hee-hee-hee. I mean, man, yeah, that must be soul-crushing and hurtful, right? And you probably feel completely alone. Find people out there that are worth your time. You do not need the respect of assholes. There are people out there that respect you for who you are. Now, you may have to go find those people. But hell, if you're on a cell phone, Google some. I bet you can find groups of people that really agree with you, or like they're on your level, or they're into the same things you're into. So yeah, so people are making fun of you behind your back. So fucking what? Let them talk. I mean, if you want to transcend it, if you want to get upset by something that doesn't exist, it only exists on the phone, then get upset by that. But if you cannot change it, you're going to have to live with it or find a way to change your perspective that's more empowering, you know, into a perspective that empowers you rather than belittles you. You're going to have to rise up. You're going to have to find the courage and the power within you to rise up. And this is a very possible thing to do. All right? Now, so cyberbullying, but then there's like what is that thing where it's like people, it's the perspective that holds cyberbullying the way it does, and it only, in one perspective, your circumstance causes your perspective. Your circumstance causes your reactions. Now, if you have that as your perspective, then you have no choice in the matter but to live with what you got, which is pain, anxiety, fear, and suffering. Now, if you're able to switch your perspective to one that is no longer society causes me to feel that way, but because of the way that I'm built and the way that I view things, if society acts like this, I feel like this. It's not because of society, it's because of how I relate to society. Take a hint from Nelson Mandela. If you don't know who Nelson Mandela is, look him up. Locked up for many, many years. Did not hold a grudge against the people that locked him up. That's some turn the other cheek stuff. Jesus said that, yeah? So if one person can change their perspective or hold that, then you can. Then that is an empowered perspective, and you're no longer helpless. You can make a choice. You do not have to live that way anymore. All right? So now, that's online. That's what I've got for you in the domain of online. Also consider, all right, so now, physical. You're getting bullied physically. As far as I can tell, bullies, if they're bugging you physically, you got to bug them physically back. Okay? You stand up for yourself, you know? This, again, takes courage, and then you're like, yeah, are you saying hit them? Yeah, go ahead, smack them. If you're getting smacked by somebody else and you're not hitting them back, if you're getting hit by somebody else for no reason and you are not fighting back, this makes no sense. You got two options. Either run. Well, okay, you got all kinds of options. Run, take the hits, and live a crappy existence, or hit them. Make them pay for what they're doing physically. That gives them the raw feedback that they need to realize that this is not something that they should be doing. All right? Now, for physical stuff, I would definitely highly, highly, highly recommend anybody who's got kids out there that are getting bullied, put them into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, first choice. MMA, boxing, second choice. But Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, most fights, that kind of stuff, end up on the ground. And if that kid understands Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they're going to be golden. No problems. All right? Now, other more violent forms of bullying, I don't know. I don't know what it's like to live in a sort of gang-like environment or neighborhood. This is a whole nother... I don't deal in that. I don't know. All right? But if your kid's getting bullied, teach them how to fight. It seems to me that the people that know how to fight the best are the ones that know how to keep the peace the best. I would definitely recommend you check out the Gracie Breakdown people. Gracie University, they have an excellent anti-bullying program. I highly recommend their videos, their content, and go learn some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. All right, it's excellent, bar none excellent. And learning how to fight, again, does not make you violent. It makes you capable of violence, but it also makes you capable of chilling out and also having a demeanor. So again, okay, going back, speaking to the kids, if it's a physical thing, bullies pick on cowards. They pick on people who look weak. They pick on people that they think won't fight back. All right? But then when those kids fight back, bullies want an easy target. If you're not an easy target, they'll go somewhere else. So if they're messing with you, you mess with them. You might take a few licks. You might get beat up a little bit, but they'll probably stop because they're not looking for a difficult target. Now, this probably runs counter to what adults might think. Oh, you shouldn't be telling kids to fight and da-da-da-da-da. I don't know. Think of the olden days. How did you solve it back when you were in high school? Was it all like roses? No. I think there's a mix of a little bit healthier, like, handle it and be done. Within reason. All right, but that's on you. It's just an opinion I have, okay? Now, the other side of it is, now speaking to the adults out there who have kids. Now, if you're an adult and you've got a kid who's a bully, that's your fault. You raised your kid wrong. You did not teach that kid the right life lessons. Now, okay, so you're an adult, you have a kid who's a bully, your kid's an asshole. Fix it. Now, that means that you might have to learn how to train your child differently. That means that you might have to make some adjustments in the way that you think and see reality, because as far as I can tell, okay, let's be real here, probably the adults who have kids that are bullies, they're not going to be watching these videos. But if you're a one-off adult who happens to be into some personal growth, you have a kid who's a bully, fix yourself. The kid learned that from somewhere, and it wasn't not you. Okay, the kid learned it from you. How you are, how you see the world is absorbed by the child. Okay? So you got to teach them. Now, if you're an adult that has a kid that's being bullied, support them. Teach them how to land on their own 2 feet. Teach them that there's more to the world than the internet. Teach them that there's more to life than this small insular world that is school, and it's a passing figment. But then that does not, there's still the trouble of kids getting down a rabbit hole in their mind and then deciding that, like, I need to end my life, it's so painful. I don't know how to go about doing that. Find some people you can commiserate with. Get off your phone. Get off social media. You don't have to listen to what other kids are saying about you. You can form your own reality or form your own perspective on life. I would get out there and do things physically, like do things that promote physical activity. Work out, train, do some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, do some running, do something where you're physically active and physically doing, I don't know, do an extracurricular activity. Like, I found the best times when I went to like a tech school. Now, I'm not saying you need to go to a tech school, but I found people that were interested in stuff. I got into video. I got into doing, it was videography and like some arts, stuff. I loved it. These were people who are speaking my language. We're all into it. Go out there. It's probably, it's going to take some courage for you to find a way out of the hole that you're in. There's more. Find a way. Go find some people. Go out into the world and go check it out. And you'll find that there's more than just this like small hell that you might be living in where you are being constantly ragged on by people. All right? So that's what I have for you there. Adults, you got kids that are going through this, send this to them. Kids, if you're listening to this, see if you can hear what I'm trying to say. If you want to, go ahead and email me. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what kind of troubles you have. Maybe I can help some way. I don't know. But, otherwise, do the quick version. Throw your phone away. You really don't need that. But parents have a problem with that. So I don't know. Parents didn't used to be as scared. I used to not want to really be around home. I wanted to be out playing with friends. I wanted to be in the woods, like making forts. I wanted to be out. I did not. Parents say, come back for dinner. I'm like, oh, do I have to really come back for dinner? I don't want to do. You see, it's like none of the phone stuff. And life was, I think, a lot more happy without it. There's a whole world out there that doesn't involve a cell phone or social media. Oh, here's last thing. Let me see if I can get this off my chest. There's consequences to thinking that your life is something that it's not. And social media is all about pretending that your life is some way that it's not. And even worse, when you look on social media, other people, all they're posting is not true. It's a lie. They are only posting what is like the best representation and not even real because they put filters on it and or like small bite size, look at how awesome my life is. And when there are serious consequences to taking what you think is your life and comparing it to an imagined life that is better than yours, do you know what that does immediately? It immediately makes your life stupid and crappy. That's how that gets to exist. That's the only way that gets to exist, is if you do that. You compare where you're at to some place where you say you aren't. And then that's better than what you have, then immediately what you have is worse. It's less than. Don't do that. Stop comparing your life to other people's lives and recognize that social media is mostly lies. It is not true. It's not even the people who are your friends. They're not your real friends, are they? Do you hang out with all 900? Do you hang out with all 1,263 of your friends? You're like, oh, old man, you're still on Facebook. Okay. Do you chasing followers on Insta? How many people you got on Snapchat or whatever the newest thing is? Yeah? Are they actually people you know and hang out with? Or are they just people that look at your stuff? They're not your friends. And don't think of them as your friends. If you do, then it's like this whole thing gets created and it's a world that doesn't exist. If the power went out, all of that would go away. After a couple weeks, you probably wouldn't miss it. Okay, so this is my contribution to the bullying conversation. Hope it helps. Thank you. Catch you later. Much love. Take care.